Back to SportsLine here on News Channel 5 Plus. Glad to have you with us. Of course, the big topic, the firing of Jon Robinson, Titans GM, with the Titans still with 5 games left and likely more, at least one more in the playoffs. Want to get your thoughts on that and the future and the direction of the Tennessee Titans. We go to the phones for the first time. Daryl joins us. Good evening, Daryl.
Hey, John, this is Daryl speaking. I just want to tell you that I think the biggest mistake they made, and I agree with you, was letting A.J. Brown go.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it coming, so like I said, that's all I wanted to say. But anyway, he carried them last year when Derrick Henry was hurt. So that's what I wanted to mention.
Yeah, Daryl, I just look at how this whole thing went down, and this is just my belief. I'm not reporting this. This is just kind of my philosophy on it. I just feel like there was just a lot of pettiness and ego on both sides. I truly believe this could have been worked out. And you're seeing that, losing A.J. Brown has proven not to be the best thing for the Tennessee Titans. That, it looks to me like it could have been worked out if cooler heads had prevailed. And now, it ultimately, among other things, probably cost Jon Robinson his job.
I agree.
All right, anything else, Daryl?
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. All right, let's go to the phones again and check in with my man Irvin. Good evening, Irvin.
Good evening. I had said once before, as far as the Titans go, we got a hell of a defense. And my thing is, we talking about getting this stadium or repair to the stadium. Why not take some of that money right there and pay for offense? We ain't got no offense. Our defense is there. We just need somebody. We need an offense there that when them wide receivers go down that field, pay them make them do what they get paid for. Now, they all know when it come down to throwing the ball, they expecting to give it to Henry. Everybody knows that they're going to give it to Henry. Give him a break. We got to have a passing game. We need to pay for some offense. That's our problem.
Irvin, there's a lot of truth in what you're saying, Irvin, because 2 years ago you had the best of both worlds, right? You had Derrick Henry with a 2,000-yard season, but you also had a dynamic passing game. You had Jonnu Smith at tight end. You had A.J. Brown. Like I said, from a defensive standpoint, the Titans are very easy to game plan against right now.
Mm-hmm. That's the problem that we're having. It ain't nothing wrong with our defense. It's just we need somebody to, at least release Henry every once in a while. And far as Tannehill go, yeah, we need to keep him because he brought us, when we was at our worst, Tannehill was there and he brought us to where we was now. But he got to have somebody to throw it to him.
Well, and he's also got he needs guys up front to protect him. Guy got sacked 6 times last Sunday. He was running for his life.
Exactly. You see what I'm talking about? We just need to pay for. We need to spend some money for our offense. I think if we spend some money for our offense, we'll be hellified.
Well, and that when you say, Irvin, spend money for your offense, that starts with paying A.J. Brown, does it not?
That's true. Now, what you just said, you just hit the nail. That's true right there. You gotta pay. And did you see what he done last Sunday? He rolling over people. But when you make mistakes, it was a bad decision. Me myself, I think it was a bad decision. But we got to move on because, like I said, we still got a hell of a defense, and maybe they made that decision.
Yeah, Irvin, you're right. The Titans do have a very good defense. They're outstanding at times when healthy, but sooner or later you got to make plays in the passing game. This is a passing league.
There you go.
You're not going to be, you're not going to beat Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow or even Justin Herbert. And thanks for the call, Irvin. If you can't match them, if you can't score points, and that's the problem among the many for this Titans offense. David joins us. Good evening, David. Did I say your name right?
Yes. Good evening. It's nice to have you all back.
Oh, thanks, man. It's great to be
after
on
the
with you.
holiday. Yeah. There is one statement you made that I disagree with. I have 3 points to make.
Go ahead.
Okay, point one, let me tell you the statement you made that I disagree. You said that the reason that Derrick Henry was able to run as he did was because A.J. Brown was in the minds of the opposition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I disagree with that.
Okay.
Derrick Henry was Derrick Henry before A.J. Brown was A.J. Brown.
No, I understand that. What my point was, David, was the fact that, you know, when you have a threat, when you have a guy that can take the top off of a defense and a guy who can be a deep threat, that loosens up the defense, and that makes life a lot easier for your stud running back. You're right. Derrick Henry is a terrific running back. I did not mean to say that A.J. Brown made Derrick Henry. That's definitely not what I meant when I said that.
Okay, number two.
Yeah.
Number two, in the last minute of the fourth quarter, the Titans almost defeated Kansas City Chiefs. You know, they did not have an onlooker to know that their quarterback was desperate on that last snap. That the only thing he needed to do was to run all the way several yards into the end zone, and that was the touchdown that beat the Titans. You know, if they had stopped him there, if they had an onlooker that knows he was desperate, that was the only thing he was going to do at that point.
Are you talking about Patrick Mahomes, David?
Yes, Patrick Mahomes, yes.
Well, David, let me jump in here. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a special player. Sometimes you can game plan for certain players and they're still going to beat you. And, you know.
Yeah, but he beat them with his legs.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
You know, that if he had an onlooker on that his leg, that he was going to run.
Okay.
He was going to run, surely.
Okay. What's your third point, David? What's your third point?
Okay, my third point is, since A.J. Brown is gone, this is a problem I have with Titans. They have third down and 3, and second down and 3, third down and 3. In that third down, they threw a 25 to 30 yards bomb to a wide receiver. If your wide receivers are not receiving, you have third and 3, design plays to get 4 yards so that your defense keeps resting on the bench. I know they are trying to surprise the opposition, to move
right
more yardage, but stop that. Get 4 yards if you need 3, and move the chain.
Listen, David, play calling has been an issue, all season with the Titans, and Todd Downing has taken a lot of heat, and I thank you for the call. I do appreciate it. But I think Todd Downing at this point is kind of an easy target. I mean, people have been, complaining ad nauseum about the play calling, and you're right. Your objective, especially with this offense struggling as it is, get the first down. If it's 3rd and 4, run a play that'll get you 6 yards and keep the chains moving. All right, let's go back to the phones. Buddy is on line 1. Hey, Buddy. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I want to say some things maybe you don't want to hear.
Go ahead.
Derrick Henry is not what he used to be. The running backs that make it in this league are able to just not run into the pile of people that are in front of them. You look at a Barry Sanders or Walter Payton. If the hole ain't there, they make their hole. Derrick Henry can't do that. He's not fast on his feet. He can't move and make another situation happen. And you look at Tannehill. He's average. The Titans, if they make the playoffs, they're going to go out one and done.
Well, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to win their division. And so it's a fait accompli. That's going to happen.
But do you understand what I'm saying about the running back?
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Derrick Henry is, if the hole ain't there.
But couldn't you say that for a lot of running backs, though, buddy? I mean, you know, Bill Parcells, Bill Parcells said many years ago, all those great running backs look great when you know, nobody's blocking for them and they're getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. This offensive line is not getting the job done.
Derrick Henry's a big guy. I mean, he's not like a Barry Sanders could stop on a dime and make his own hole. Derrick Henry can't do that.
Yes and no. I mean, he couldn't make his own hole. He wasn't a power back.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He was like a water bug.
You know, yeah, but you know what? I mean, how many times did you see him get hit behind the line of scrimmage? Quite a bit. I understand what you're saying, buddy. And listen,
and he's like Eric.
Go ahead.
Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson was great for the Vikings for 2 years, but then shit happened. You know,
I got to let you go there because you can't say that word on these air. We're going to cut you off there. Who'd you say was on line 2, Josh? All right, let's try Roy before we go to break. Hi, Roy. You're not going to curse, I hope.
No, sir. I ain't going to do that, man. That's so high as IQ. I mean, I'm going to go a little bit further about him saying about Henry.
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, one man don't win no football game. You said a key word a while ago. Getting rid of A.J. Brown was the worst thing that they could have ever done. See, you had him, they never know what you're going to do. You see what I'm saying? Derrick Henry can't drag by himself. Derrick Henry's still a good ball player. But I think what Miss Adams did by getting rid of the general manager was one of the best things she could have done. But I think it's going to be more to come. I hate to say this because I've followed them from Steve McNair on down. I used to drive limo, and I met a lot of these guys, Rob Baronis, good guys.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
No, not throwing no rocks, but Mike Vrabel don't impress me either. He do some things like you said, 3rd and 4 or 4 and 1, and you'll kick the ball. So I just feel like, and the defense coordinator, he's another one. You know, I'm just going to keep it real. They got to get a good group if they're going to ever go to a Super Bowl.
Well, Roy, I got to push back. Roy, I got to push back a little bit on what you said about Mike Vrabel. In my opinion, he's the best coach in the NFL. You look what he's done with all the injuries and really, quite frankly, a lack of talent. And he's still managing to win football games. And I think Amy Adams Strunk realized, listen, who can I afford to lose here? You know, she doesn't want to lose Mike Vrabel. You know, you're starting to hear rumblings. Maybe he might go to Ohio State down the road, that kind of thing.
Yes,
I feel like, you know, Amy Adams Strunk realizes I've got arguably the best coach in the NFL here. I want to keep him here. The part where she needs to be careful and where this organization needs to be careful is how much power / say-so is Mike Vrabel going to have once the new general manager comes in to the fold. Because if that doesn't work, the whole thing's going to blow up, Roy.
Yeah, you're right, John. I'll give you that. But he got to be able to have power to say who he would like to stay on his roster. Because all of us everywhere, even the announcers talked about it. We had A.J. Brown, and we gave him away because supposedly, quote, a salary cap. But then you bring other people in, what? A bunch of them got hurt. One of them ain't even in the league now. So, I mean,
right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying, Roy. And going forward, and I thank you so much for the phone call, going forward, you know, you didn't pay A.J. Brown. Are you going to pay Jeffrey Simmons? Or are you just going to let him walk out the door? You know, Aaron Donald is getting on in years. He had 1 foot out the door this past offseason, almost retiring after winning the Super Bowl. Once he's gone, Jeffrey Simmons takes the mantle as the best interior defensive lineman in all of football. You know, let that guy walk out the door. All right, we're late for a break. We're going to come back. More of your phone calls, 737-7767, the number to call. We will hear from Mike Vrabel and some other Titans players, time permitting, here as we cross over into the second half hour. But good conversation. Let's keep it going. Give us your thoughts on what the Titans have done, should do, et cetera, et cetera. SportsLine continues right after this.